Today we're planting the first microgreens of my season, and I'm starting with my favorite beginner trio. I have some peas that I've soaked for a day or so. I have my radish, and I have the broccoli. If you're new and you've been thinking, okay, but what do I actually do? Perfect, because we're doing it together. Step by step, no fuss, no nonsense. And yes, I own more seeds than the normal person, but today we're keeping it simple. Hi, I'm Georgina, and I'm glad you're here. This is Grow Your Garden, and this is video number 2 of my playlist, Microgreens for the Masses. Real food you can grow indoors. In the last video, I explained what microgreens are and why they're perfect for indoors. In this one, we're going hands-on. I'm going to show you how I set up the trays, how I plant peas, radishes, and broccoli, how I water, and what I do right after planting so they'll grow strong. Before we start, let me tell you what you need, because I don't want anyone feeling overwhelmed. You need trays, your seeds, some growing medium, water, and a light source. That's it. And you don't need 3 shelves and a workshop. You can do this on a small table with 1 tray, but it's easier with 2 trays. And I'll show you why. I just need to get the soil a little bit moistened. That's one of the things that I do that most people might not understand if they haven't done it. But if you start with your soil properly moistened, you don't have to top water. And top watering can be a problem, I think. So, the trays. You can do it with 1 tray, but it's way better with 2. You may not be able to see this, but this one has holes. This one does not. So you put them together. You put your medium in here and your seeds, and you water from the bottom. If you have the correct amount of moisture in your soil before you sow your seeds, they'll be fine. They're going to sit there, they're going to germinate, the roots are going to go down through and pick up the water. It makes the watering far easier to control. The other part I need to give you is a quick disclaimer. I use a peat-based mix because it's what I'm used to, and I reuse the soil around the property after I've harvested. Nothing goes to waste. Some people use coconut coir mats. They are clean, but I'm not sure what happens to them after they've harvested. And since coconut doesn't grow in the Northeast, I try to avoid bringing it into my system. I don't bring it into my system, especially since I have native plant areas. That being said, if you'd like my input on what to buy or what to skip, I'm happy to help. Just tell me about the space you're using. So I'm starting with these 3 for a reason. The peas, the radishes, and the broccoli. They're hardy, they're forgiving, and honestly, they feel like the most food-like microgreens. Now here I have it about half full as it's fluffed up. And I have this little packer. First, the peas. I need something to drain these into. And you kind of want to spread them out if you can. These are easy to deal with. And then a little soil over the top. And not everything wants soil. There's a few things that don't want to be covered up with soil. I say that because you still have to cover them with a tray. And you don't have to do a lot. A little bit's fine. Secondly, the radishes. Another tray right on top of these. They all have just about the same germination rate, and so I just stack them right up. And again, the packer. And the radishes. These are way smaller. And lastly, the broccoli. These fit in the same tray. These have the holes in the same size tray as if it was a full. And I'm doing these two trays because I have people that would like to try them. They don't want a whole tray. These. Now, broccoli is frightfully tiny. Be careful not to overseed it, or you'll have a forest. And then, on top of it all, goes another tray. So then you want to water. You don't need a lot, especially with these, because they're among the fastest to germinate. 3 or 4 days is usually it. Put it over here. We can put it right here for tonight. And it also gets some weight. So if you're brand new at this, the best thing you can do is copy this lineup. You'll get a good win. After planting, I keep a close eye on the moisture. You want the medium moist, not swampy. I tend to water in a way that encourages strong roots because I want healthy growth, not weak, floppy greens. I like to check them twice a day, even if I have full benches. If I can't decide if they need more water in the morning, I'll just stick a marker in the flat. So if I have bunches and bunches, I just check the ones that have got the marker. I don't have to check every flat. Once the seeds have germinated, they're usually ready for light. Depending on what I'm growing, sometimes I'll put a blackout cover over them to get them to stand up straighter. But you'll hear me say this 100 times. It's the light that keeps them from being leggy. If your greens stretch and fall over, it's usually a light issue, not because you're a terrible gardener. You're not. Here's what you can expect. Radish, quick. You'll see action fast. Broccoli is tiny but steady. And the peas are a little slower to start, but they take off and there'll be a whole forest. And you don't have to stand over them every day like a nervous parent. Just check moisture, give them light after they germinate, and let them grow. So now let me save you from the 3 most often beginner mistakes. Overwatering, not enough light, and dealing with difficult varieties at first. That's why we're doing peas, radish, and broccoli. They're forgiving, they're reliable, they make you feel successful, which is what will keep you going. So let me know, what would you plant first? Spicy would be the radish, mild would be the broccoli, and hearty would be the peas. Or are you feeling brave and you want to try something weird? I've got weird ones too. In the next video, I'm going to show you my setup, what I'm using, why it works, and what I would recommend. Because I don't want anyone watching this thinking, well, I can't do microgreens because I don't have a whole farm in my basement. You absolutely can do this. All right. Our first trays are planted. We are officially growing food indoors. I'll see you in the next video.